Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Ref the District's QB1 Press Your Luck for 2023. This is presented to you by Don't Sleep Energy. Head out to don'tsleepenergy.com. Use the code Ref the District for 10% off on gear and beverages. It is the only energy drink I partake in.
Facts.
Make sure you head out there and get some. Don't sleep. Be great.
Good.
All right, so it is my turn.
Yes.
To press my luck, and unlike Trev, I'm going to make sure I do this correctly. All right, let's roll it. No whammies, no jags, nothing bad. Please, for the love of God, not Derek Carr. Bam! Let's go. Oh,
Who we get?
Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
Winner, chicken dinner.
Lamar, I love you, Lamar.
LJ, baby.
This would be like Lamar doesn't like he doesn't even have to move that far, right? Like you're probably halfway between the two anyways. I mean, Lamar Jackson QB1. I'm not gonna start this off because I'm the one who pressed the button. So let's go with Trev here.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson QB1. And before you start,
mm-hmm.
I just want to remind, this is not a conversation of whether or not he would come to Washington or Washington could afford him or what it's going to take and all that other stuff. This is just merely QB1 Lamar Jackson 2023 season. Would you want him?
We're going to the playoffs, baby. I'll take him. Yes. That man is the best thing since Michael Vick. Sorry, RG3. It's the best thing since Michael Vick that we've ever had in the league since then. People slept on him in the draft. He went all the way down to 30th, I believe, and the Ravens traded to the Patriots to pick him up, which was a surprising move. You saw what he did in Louisville. You saw what he's done in the league now. Yeah, he's magic. He's elusive. He's electrifying. He's a highlight reel on 2 feet. Like, yes, bro. We would sell tickets. Like, we would have crowds again. We'd have, like we said, the excitement, the highlights, the progress, the points. Bring him on here, bro. Like you said, he can live in Baltimore and play for us. I don't care. Stoner's in Maryland. You're in Maryland, Nathan. Y'all are fans. Like,
not that bad of a commute to FedEx. Might be a little bit much to Ashburn.
I'm taking him. And I think he could, and with the weapons we have at receiver in the backfield, because in Baltimore, he had like 1 or 2 at each skill position, not like a slew of like we have. So, man, just imagine him lining up Curtis Dotson or Chris Samuel, whatever you want to call Stoner, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Gibby, B-Rob, a tight end. Hell, bring Mark Andrews with you, LJ. That'd be cool too. So,
right.
LJ QB1 in Washington, I'm all for it.
All for it. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can look at that would possibly get you to say, I'm not sure with his injuries the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He hasn't really had a big-time receiver. They've drafted a ton of them. They've tried a ton of receivers, and nothing ever seems to work out. You can blame that on Greg Roman's offense, which is a run-heavy, tight end-heavy type offense. But I think that's more because that's the skill that he had. He had excellent running backs. He has one of the best tight ends in the league, and he's never had great receivers with him. So you can look at all that and say maybe not. But like you said, Trev, he's the most electrifying player in the league. He can do things with his legs that nobody else can do. Like you said, since Michael Vick, and maybe Michael Vick is the only one that was better than him in the history of this game. He's got a rocket of an arm. He's gotten better with his accuracy as he's grown within the league. But yeah, you would do. Listen, this is a little bit hyperbole, but I'd give up every single draft pick for 2023 to acquire Lamar Jackson. There's nothing I wouldn't do. And then I'd give him $240 million guaranteed. And all of that might blow up in my face as the front office of the Commanders, but I don't care. I'm going for it. He's still young. He's still he's had some minor injuries, but it's not like he's had blown out ACLs like RG3 had or or big time shoulder issues.
And I think he could have played more this year, but He's trying to get paid, and so
Yeah.
he's not going to go out there and further risk. And I know there was a lot of people who were kind of angsty about that, and like, no, that's not the warrior spirit and all that. Like this guy is Lamar Jackson is still a young man, and he's got a lot of years ahead of him. He's not willing to sacrifice those years unless he's guaranteed the paycheck, and I think that's completely the right decision. You saw where that didn't benefit RG3, as we've been bringing him up as a very poor comp. But
he's like the most quarterback we've had. So
yeah, and I mean, similar in the sense that they ran. I really thought RG3 as a backup to the Lamar Jackson was a really great thing in Baltimore, but that's a whole nother topic. The Lamar Jackson coming here, I think, and this is where it differs from the previous two that we talked about, right? Tom Brady's a 1-year rental. Sam Howell's an unknown. Maybe he could be. Getting Lamar Jackson here, that's your franchise quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, I don't see, unless, like Stoner, you can bring up kind of the injury history here, unless that injury history becomes the reality that keeps going forward. Lamar Jackson is a legitimate franchise quarterback. He changes the trajectory of your team. And like I said, he could have played, and Baltimore would have had an even better position, and they probably could have beat Cincinnati in the playoffs with Lamar Jackson under center, because as much as people want to point out that or try to say that he's a running back, you're right, Stoner. He is absolutely a much better polished passer than what people give him credit for. His numbers in less amount of games are comparable to Tom Brady that we just talked about, who was throwing up record numbers as far as completions and attempts, and he still threw for 4,000 yards. We have 2,000 yards in the amount of games that he played this season, right? And we're talking about 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a QBR 59.2, which is actually better than Tom Brady's. Like he absolutely can be an efficient passer. And I'm sorry, as much as he's an OU guy, he's a Sooner. Hollywood Brown just is not on the same level as Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel. This would be the first true wide receiver threat group that Lamar Jackson would have here. And I would be very interested in seeing what he could do with that level of talent. If you look at Baltimore's skill group, the only one we don't match is tight end. And that's because Mark Andrews is a top 5 tight end in the league. But outside of that, this is a much better skill group. And you can still use the running attack that Washington wants to go for. And now you have a legitimate QB that could be that threat. So you're running RPOs that, the guy could break out for a 50-yard run if you're just, not covering him. Absolutely. This is a no-brainer.
8 games, he rushed for 770 something yards. Go a full season, go 16 games with that. That's a 1,500-yard rusher as a quarterback, a 4,500-yard passer. He had 17 touchdowns. Right? I mean, the guy was on pace for an all-time great year. And let's not overlook how just a few years ago, he was not only an MVP, he was a unanimous MVP of the league. Every single voter voted him as the MVP. This is not some sort of fluke year that he's had once or twice. He's the real deal, and he would change any franchise by simply going there and being their quarterback.
Bro, and like you said, like the Greg Roman offense was run heavy, tight end heavy. Imagine coming here. We could do something similar, but always keep the defenses confused because we've got Curtis Samuel that can line up in the backfield with him. You don't know who's getting the ball. You can put Giddey back there and Curtis back there. You know who's getting the ball. You can bring Jahan Dotson to screen whatever, the handoff. You don't know if he's getting it or not. If Lamar's keeping it free, it's like a whole different dynamic. And look at his stats right there. And he didn't play in a month. He pretty much had the same stats as our starting quarterback, Taylor Heineke, in what? How many games did he play? 14, 15 games? And
Sorry,
look what
Like, and I was wrong about he didn't. I said he played 8 games. Sorry, he played 12.
He played 12.
I was looking at his number being 8. Sorry.
And if you watched Baltimore when he went down, they turned into us. They were scoring points. They were at the beginning of the year. They were in the 20s and 30s scoring points. They came back and beat the Giants, or the Giants came back and beat them that one game. But it was like 20-something to 20-something. He went down. They averaged 19 points, just like we did. He's that big of a difference maker. You can legit see it. within on the field. So yeah, bring him here. Please bring him.
Would you give him, $240 million?
Yeah, dog.
Which means he's going to be getting like $38 million this year or more against your cap, which means Deron Payne's gone.
Okay.
Maybe you can't bring in an offensive lineman that you really want to.
You can.
Would you do all that though?
Again, I said we're gonna save a lot of that for a Wednesday conversation.
Okay,
but
I was just curious.
Yeah, I will say this. One of the things that we've been complaining about as Washington fans is that we don't have the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson would be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You get him here, and then you can fill those pieces out afterwards.
I 100% agree.
And I know people would, are gonna have the knee-jerk reaction to trading 3 picks and paying him $38 million and all this other stuff. I get it. I know you're gonna light us up in the comments. I'm looking forward to reading those.
We went all smoke.
But answer me this. Do you want a franchise quarterback? If that answer is yes, you want Lamar Jackson. It's simple as that. And if you don't think Lamar Jackson's a franchise quarterback, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. I get that there might be some injury concerns there. Again, I think that he would have played more this season if he was under contract. If he's under contract, you're seeing him just like Mahomes during the playoff game, busted up his ankle, still playing. Lamar Jackson would have been doing that had he a guaranteed paycheck, right? If he was being paid and he knows that if he gets injured, he's going to come back next year. He just has to rehab, and then he'll still be on a roster somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely would be playing. Baltimore didn't give him that contract. He's not going to go out there, potentially injure himself further, and then be somebody who no one's going to pick up or pay him that guaranteed contract.
Be a Teddy Bridgewater who was in line for getting a big contract, but blew out his knee, and here he is. Not a nobody, but Jag who just goes around and collects. I mean, he's doing well. Right, he's probably getting
also a Louisville product,
$6 or $7 million a year every year, but not the $40 million a year that he probably would have gotten had he stayed healthy. So there's always a cautionary tale to what you're going to do as a player. But if you're a Baltimore fan, I think you're upset that he didn't play. It's very simple. Sure. But as a football fan, and you're not a Baltimore fan, you're probably saying, "Good for you, Lamar. Go get yours," because these owners like to chew guys up and spit them out, as long as they get some sort of stats from them for a little while, and they don't care how much they pay him. So, yeah, go get yours, Lamar. If it's here, that'd be great. But I agree with his decision, but I'm not a Baltimore fan. If I was, I'd probably be just super pissed at him. If I was a Baltimore fan, I would be enraged, because
you probably think, as J.K. Dobbins talked about it after the game, they win that game with Lamar, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
they win that. They're still in the playoffs if Lamar Jackson's playing, and he's not wrong. He's not,
and
wrong
he might not, and he might not be with Baltimore next year. Mm-hmm. So what good is that for you as a fan for him to sit out to get his? But as a fan of the team, I didn't get what was coming to me, which is advancing into the playoffs and a run into Super Bowl. So I
beating division rivaled at that. Sure.
Yeah.
Now, Trev, is there any apprehension you have for bringing in Lamar? What's that?
His injuries. I mean, I'm just being realistic. That's kind of reason why Baltimore is so hesitant to guarantee him and pay him a big contract, because since his MVP year, he hasn't finished the season, right? He hasn't finished.
Even in the MVP year, he only played 15 games.
Yeah, so that's a major concern, because his legs are his weapon. Like, that's his secret weapon. It's not a secret.
They are a weapon in his football. Yeah.
I mean, like, let's think about it. That's really like that's the biggest weapon.
That's what makes his unique. Sure.
Yeah. And that's what always holds him back and prevents him from finishing a season. So it's like, he is your franchise quarterback, but how much is he going to be available and how much is he going to play? This, and he's his own agent. So like that kind of, that has a little bit of an effect in the things too, because, he literally controls everything that he wants and negotiating for. And there's no middleman to, talk to, it's just, sticky situation. But
perhaps talk some kind of, not, I won't say sense into him, but kind of
right, but like
be that
guide him.
negotiator to be like,
Yeah.
hey, I understand you want this, but this is probably better for you. He doesn't have
Right.
that person talking
like
in his ear.
include some incentives and stuff. So it's like it's hard, but just the injuries is the main thing because he hasn't finished the season in what 3 seasons, I guess. MVP last year and this year.
Like, yeah, he's never played a complete season unless you consider his rookie year where he suited up all 16 games. He only played 7 of those. So yeah,
So
he played 15 his MVP year, 15 in 2020, only 12 games these last 2 years. Did make the Pro Bowl last year. Probably not going to make the Pro Bowl, or did not make the Pro Bowl this year, even though realistically he's had better stats for the most part.
That means you got to get a good backup too if you consider bringing Lamar Jackson in. Honestly, you got to think about
a backup.
You got Sam Howell.
A good. Well, okay, so we have Sam Howell. All right, cool. But we don't know if he's. Whatever.
That's what they drafted Sam Howell for,
You're
I believe, is to be a backup quarterback. So now everyone's going to at me in the comments about that. Just reminder, I had Sam Howell as number 3 on my QB1 list. Stoner, where do you have Lamar Jackson on your list here?
Yeah, Trev and I were talking about this, before we came on here about where I would have him, as much as I love him and everything. And to reiterate, I had Sam Howell at number 8. No, I had him at number 5.
Yeah,
Sorry,
5.
Trev had him.
Trev had him at number 8.
I had Sam Howell at number 5. I had
Tom
Brady at number 2, and I said there's only one guy who I would take over Tom Brady. Sorry, Trev, I lied to you. Of course it's Lamar Jackson. Number 1. He is the number 1 guy that I would want over anybody who's possibly available out there. Heck yeah. He is a game changer. To be fair, his MVP season, he missed 1 game. It was the final game. They already had the playoffs wrapped, had home field wrapped. That's why he didn't play, just to be clear on that. So, but yes, the next year, he missed 1 game for injury, and then the last 2 years he's missed like 4 and 5 games, or 5 games, I think, both years. So yeah, there's concern there, but absolutely, I get him, and I figure out the rest. He's a game changer. I don't care about anything else. Once I get him in there, I figure out the rest. He's number 1 on my list.
He's number 2 on my list.
Oh, okay, just right behind Tom Brady.
Oh yeah.
Is there a reason why you have Lamar Jackson behind Tom Brady?
Tom Brady's the GOAT. It's like saying, would you rather have Michael Jordan or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? I'll take Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Would you rather have MJ or Kobe? I'm still taking MJ. Sorry. Yeah. Kobe. Kobe.
But would you take MJ at, MJ
Wizards
at 42 and Kobe at 31? Would you still take MJ?
Yeah, he's
because
the GOAT.
That's kind of what we're talking about here. We're talking about Brady. You're talking about Lamar, who's like, I don't know, what is he, 27?
26. He'll be 27 this
26
we got, bro. I want to win now. Okay. If we have a chance to get the GOAT to make that happen, I'm taking the GOAT. Any sport, I'm taking the GOAT.
He's the only one that you have ahead of Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lamar's all that. This feels weird to me because we're like all on the same page with Lamar and Tom Brady.
These two are number 1 and number 2 because I have Lamar Jackson as number 1.
Yes.
And I asked, to be fair, Trev, I asked you, why did you have Tom Brady over Lamar? And the reason why I have Lamar over Tom Brady, because yes, Tom Brady's great, and Stoner, you can chime in after this if you have something else to add to it. But Lamar Jackson's a franchise quarterback, 26 years old. By the way, he just turned 26. January 7th is his birthday. So he will be 26 going into 2023. If he continues playing at the level he does, even if he only plays 14 games a year, for you, that is a Pro Bowl quarterback, a franchise quarterback. Washington's not had one, period.
Right. And
they would have one in Lamar Jackson, and getting him, and as electric as he is, that's why he's my number 1 QB wish list, right? Tom Brady, that puts us in championship contention this year. Lamar Jackson puts us in championship contention for the next decade. And that's why he's number 1 on my list.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that other than to say, is it not crazy that Lamar Jackson is 20 years younger than Tom Brady? 20 years younger.
given his play style, he might not make it to 46 when but if you get a good decade worth of play from him, that's more than enough. And I do think that there's plenty there to see. Trev, you're right. The legs are something special. They're definitely what makes Lamar Jackson, but he's a much better passer than what people give him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, there's just no debate. I have him one. Nathan has him one. Trev has him two. You do whatever it takes to get him.
Well, I do want to hear what people have to say. Get in that comment section. Let us know where you have Lamar Jackson on your top 10 QB list. Do you agree with us? And go ahead, throw it in the chat. If you don't think Lamar Jackson would come here or whatnot, go ahead and let us know. But just know we'll be talking about that on a Wednesday show. So check us out Wednesday live at 7:30 right here on YouTube. And you can hear us discuss on whether or not Lamar Jackson's the right fit for Washington, given what they would have to give up and what they would give up. All that good stuff is on one of our Wednesday shows. But until next time,
yes, sir.
Be a fan.
Go get Lamar.
Hey, thanks for watching us here on Ref the District. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out one of these other videos here as well. We create lots of great content. Of course, we're live every Wednesday at 7:30. Things get pretty heated there as well. Until next time, be a fan.